You are doing something every single morning that you think is saving your health, but in reality, it might be slowly turning your arteries into stone. I see this mistake in my practice almost every single day. You go to the store, you buy a bottle of vitamin D, you pop a pill with your morning coffee, and you think you're protected. You think you're boosting your immune system. You think you're strengthening your bones. But if you are taking vitamin D alone, if you are taking it without the right co-pilots, you are not just wasting your money. You are creating a biochemical disaster inside your body that can lead to kidney stones, heart arrhythmias, anxiety, and yes, the calcification of your soft tissues. Imagine your flexible, elastic arteries slowly becoming hard and brittle, like old pipes filled with cement. That is what calcium does when it ends up in the wrong place. And the tragedy is, millions of people are doing this right now because they've been told vitamin D is good for you, but nobody told them the rules of engagement. Nobody told them that vitamin D is not just a simple vitamin, it is a powerful steroid hormone that demands respect. In the next 20 minutes, I am going to break down the 5 critical mistakes almost everyone makes with vitamin D. We are going to look deep inside your liver, your kidneys, and your cells to understand exactly how to unlock the power of this hormone. I'm going to give you the specific protocol, the exact combination of nutrients, the timing, and the delivery system that turns vitamin D from a potential danger into the life-saving, immune-boosting, age-reversing powerhouse it is meant to be. Do not skip a second of this, because what you don't know about vitamin D really can hurt you. I'm Dr. Alan Mandell. Let's get straight to the truth about what's happening inside your body. To understand why you're failing to get the benefits of vitamin D, we first have to change the way you look at this bottle in your cabinet. We call it a vitamin because of a historical accident when it was discovered in the early 20th century. But biologically, physiologically, it is not a vitamin at all. A vitamin is something your body cannot make, like vitamin C. You have to eat it. But your body can make vitamin D. You make it when ultraviolet light hits the cholesterol in your skin. Because your body creates it, vitamin D is actually a secosteroid hormone. It is structurally similar to testosterone, estrogen, and cortisol. And like any hormone, it works on a lock and key system. Every single cell in your body, your brain cells, your immune cells, your bone cells, your heart cells, has a receptor specifically waiting for vitamin D. It controls the expression of over 3,000 genes. That is 10% of your entire human genome regulated by this one nutrient. So when you take a supplement, you aren't just topping off a tank. You are manipulating the master control system of your entire physiology. And this leads us directly to the first major mistake that renders 90% of supplements useless before they even enter your bloodstream. Mistake number 1 is the empty tank error. It's an absorption issue. I want you to picture a drop of oil falling into a glass of water. What happens? It floats. It separates. It never mixes. Well, vitamin D is a fat-soluble nutrient. It is hydrophobic. It hates water. Most people wake up, grab their vitamin D capsule, and swallow it with a big glass of water or maybe a cup of black coffee or tea. Then they run out the door. If you do this, I can almost guarantee you are absorbing virtually none of that vitamin D. It is sliding right through your digestive tract and ending up in the toilet. Here is the physiology. For a fat-soluble nutrient to be absorbed, your body needs to trigger the release of bile. Bile is a greenish-yellow fluid produced by your liver and stored in your gallbladder. When you eat fat, healthy fat, your gallbladder receives a signal to squeeze that bile into your small intestine. The bile acts like a detergent. It emulsifies the fat, breaking it down into tiny microscopic droplets called micelles. These micelles encapsulate the vitamin D and ferry it across the intestinal wall into your lymphatic system. Without fat, there is no bile release. Without bile, there is no absorption. It is that simple. So, if you are taking your vitamin D on an empty stomach, stop. You are wasting your money. If you are taking it with just a piece of dry toast or a banana, stop. That is not enough fat to trigger the bile response. You need a vehicle. I want you to think of fat as the taxi that drives vitamin D into your blood. You need to take your supplement with a meal that contains healthy dietary fats. This could be 2 eggs. It could be half an avocado. It could be a handful of walnuts or macadamia nuts. Even a spoon of high-quality olive oil or coconut oil. Studies have shown that taking vitamin D with a fat-containing meal can increase absorption by anywhere from 30% to 50%. Some studies show it doubles the absorption compared to a fat-free meal. Now, a special note for my friends out there who have had their gallbladder removed, or if you have a sluggish liver. You have a harder time producing and storing that concentrated bile. For you, this is even more critical. You might need to take a bile salt supplement or use an enzyme that contains lipase to help you break down that fat so you can actually get the vitamin D into your system. But getting it into your blood is only the first step. This is where the story gets complicated. And this is where most people start to feel terrible without knowing why. This leads us to the second and perhaps the most widespread mistake, the broken engine. You see, the vitamin D you buy in the store, cholecalciferol, or D3, is inactive. It's biologically inert. It cannot do anything in your body yet. It's like having a key that hasn't been cut to fit the lock. For that vitamin D to work, it has to go through a 2-step activation process. First, it travels to your liver. In the liver, it undergoes a process called hydroxylation to become 25-hydroxyvitamin D. This is the storage form. This is what the doctor measures when they draw your blood. But even this form is not the active hormone. It has to travel again, this time to your kidneys. In the kidneys, it gets transformed again into 1,25-dihydroxyvitamin D, also known as calcitriol. This is the active steroid hormone. This is the general that commands your immune system in your bones. Here is the secret that nobody tells you. Both of these conversion steps in the liver and in the kidneys require magnesium. Magnesium is the cofactor. It is the ignition switch for the enzyme that transforms vitamin D. If you do not have enough magnesium, the vitamin D just sits there. It accumulates in its inactive form. But it gets worse. Because your body is desperate to activate this vitamin D you just swallowed, it starts pulling magnesium from your muscles, your bones, and your tissues to fuel the conversion. It drains your magnesium reserves. This is why so many people start taking vitamin D and suddenly they feel anxious. They get heart palpitations. They get muscle cramps or eyelid twitches. They get constipation. They can't sleep. They think, I must be allergic to vitamin D. No, you are not allergic. You are experiencing induced magnesium deficiency. You have revved up the engine by taking high-dose vitamin D, but you ran out of oil. We are living in a magnesium deficient world. Our soil is depleted. We filter our water, removing the minerals. We are stressed out, which burns through magnesium. We eat sugar, which depletes magnesium. Estimates say that up to 80% of the population is subclinically deficient in magnesium. So when you throw 5,000 or 10,000 IUs of vitamin D into a magnesium deficient body, you are stressing your system. You are hitting the gas pedal with the parking brake on. The solution is simple but non-negotiable. You must pair your vitamin D with magnesium. But not just any magnesium. Do not go to the drugstore and buy magnesium oxide. That is cheap, poorly absorbed, and will mostly just give you diarrhea. You want the chelated magnesium. Magnesium glycinate is excellent for relaxation and absorption. Magnesium citrate is okay if you tend to be constipated. Magnesium malate is great for energy. You want to aim for about 400 to 500 milligrams of elemental magnesium daily if you are supplementing with vitamin D. By doing this, You ensure the conversion happens smoothly, and you avoid those nasty side effects of anxiety and palpitations. Now, we have absorbed the vitamin D with fat. We have activated it with magnesium. Now we have a powerful hormone circulating in the blood. What does it do? Its primary job is to increase the absorption of calcium from your gut. When your vitamin D levels are optimized, you absorb 20 times more calcium from the food you eat. This is great for your bones, right? Yes, but only if that calcium ends up in your bones. And this brings us to the third mistake, the most dangerous mistake. This is the wrong turn. This is the mistake that causes the hardening of the arteries. Calcium is a dumb mineral. It doesn't know where to go. It just follows the path of least resistance. If you have a flood of calcium entering your blood because of high vitamin D, but you don't have the chemical guidance system to tell it where to go, that calcium will deposit in your soft tissues. It will deposit in your coronary arteries, forming plaque. It will deposit in your heart valves, making them stiff. It will deposit in your kidneys, forming painful kidney stones. It will deposit in your joints, causing arthritis-like pain. We call this the calcium paradox. You have plenty of calcium, but your bones are brittle and your arteries are hard. You are turning into stone from the inside out. So, who is the traffic cop? Who tells the calcium, stay out of the heart, go into the bone? That traffic cop is vitamin K2. Vitamin K2 activates a specific protein called matrix GLA protein, or MGP. Think of MGP as a little street sweeper. It moves through your arteries and veins, sweeping up the excess calcium and preventing it from sticking to the walls. Vitamin K2 also activates osteocalcin, a protein that takes that calcium and cements it into the bone matrix where it belongs. Without K2, these proteins remain inactive. They are asleep and the calcium runs wild. I cannot stress this enough. Taking large doses of vitamin D without vitamin K2 is risky. It is potentially dangerous for your heart health in the long run. Nature usually packages these together in eggs, in organ meats. In cheese, you get D and K2 together. But in a pill, you have to be intentional. Now, don't confuse K2 with K1. Vitamin K1 is found in spinach and kale. It's involved in blood clotting. It's important, but it doesn't do what K2 does. You need vitamin K2. There are two main forms of K2 you'll see on labels, MK4 and MK7. MK4 is synthetic or derived from animal fat. It has a very short half-life. You have to take it multiple times a day. MK7, usually derived from fermented soy or chickpeas, stays in your body much longer. It is much more effective at lower doses. So, the rule is, always pair your D3 with K2. A good general ratio to look for is 100 micrograms of K2, MK7, for every 5,000 to 10,000 IUs of vitamin D3. Many high-quality supplements now combine these in one capsule, which makes it easier. But check your bottle. If it says vitamin D only, you need to go get some K2 immediately. Let's move to mistake number 4. We've covered absorption, activation, and safety. Now we need to talk about the missing links, the trace minerals, and the timing that act as the turbochargers for this whole process. There is a trace mineral that almost nobody talks about in relation to vitamin D, and that is boron. Boron is a forgotten mineral, but it is essential for bone health and hormone regulation. Here is what's fascinating about boron. It extends the half-life of vitamin D in your body. It inhibits the enzyme that breaks down vitamin D. So by taking boron just 3 milligrams a day, you can make your vitamin D levels rise faster and stay higher for longer. It makes the supplement you are taking work 20% to 30% better. Boron also helps reduce the excretion of magnesium and calcium through the urine. It helps you hold on to the minerals you need. If you have been taking vitamin D for months and your levels are still low on your blood test, you might be boron deficient. A simple boron supplement, or eating boron-rich foods like raisins, prunes, and almonds, can fix this stall. And then there is zinc. Remember how I said vitamin D works like a key in a lock? That lock is the vitamin D receptor, or VDR. This receptor is located inside the nucleus of your cells. For that receptor to physically change shape and send the message to your DNA, it requires a zinc finger. Without zinc, the receptor is deaf. It can't hear the message vitamin D is screaming. So you see, it is a symphony. Fat, magnesium, K2, boron, zinc, they all play a part. But there is one more part of mistake number 4, and that is timing. Because vitamin D is an awake hormone, it's the hormone of the sun, of daylight, it has an inverse relationship with melatonin, your sleep hormone. When vitamin D production goes up, melatonin goes down. This is how your body sets its circadian rhythm. If you take your vitamin D supplement at dinner or right before bed, you are confusing your brain. You are chemically signaling to your pineal gland that it is high noon. This can suppress your melatonin production and ruin your deep sleep cycles. And we know that healing happens during sleep. So, the rule for timing is strictly morning or midday. Taking it with breakfast or lunch is perfect. Never take it after 2 p.m. if you value your sleep. Now, before I give you the specific master protocol, the exact way to put all this together, we have to address the elephant in the room, or rather, the star in the sky. The Sunday, can you just get it all from the sun? In a perfect world, yes. And actually, the sun gives you something a pill never can. When you make vitamin D from sunlight, your body produces vitamin D sulfate. This sulfated form is water soluble. It can travel freely in the blood without a carrier protein. It has potent anti-cancer and immune boosting properties that oral supplements might not fully replicate. Plus, sunlight triggers a release of nitric oxide in your skin, which lowers your blood pressure. A pill doesn't do that. So, I never want you to think a supplement replaces a healthy lifestyle. Getting outside, exposing your arms and legs to the sun for 15 or 20 minutes a day without burning is still the gold standard. However, we live in the real world. If you live in a northern latitude, or if it's winter, or if you work in an office all day, or if you have darker skin which acts as a natural sunblock, you simply cannot make enough vitamin D from the sun year-round. You need the supplement, but you have to take the supplement correctly to mimic the wisdom of the body. So let's put this all together. I want you to write this down. This is the Dr. Mandell Master Protocol for vitamin D optimization. This is how you stop wasting money and start getting results. Step number 1, the dosage. Get your blood levels tested. That is the only way to know for sure. You want your level to be between 50 and 80 nanograms per milliliter, NGML. For most adults, a maintenance dose is around 2,000 to 5,000 IUs daily. If you are very low, you might need more for a short time, but work with your doctor. Step number 2, the combination. Never buy vitamin D alone. Look for a D3 plus K2 formula. You want roughly 100 micrograms of vitamin K2, MK7, for every 5,000 IUs of D3. This protects your arteries and kidneys. Step number 3, the timing and vehicle. Take this D3, K2 combination in the morning or at lunch. Do not take it on an empty stomach. Take it with healthy fats, 2 eggs, avocado, full-fat yogurt, or a handful of nuts. This triggers the bile and ensures absorption. Step number 4, the activator. Take magnesium every single day. But here is the trick. Take the magnesium at night. Magnesium relaxes the muscles and the nervous system. It helps you sleep. So, D in the morning, magnesium at night. This keeps your levels topped off so your liver and kidneys can activate the D3 24 hours a day. Aim for 400 to 500 milligrams of magnesium glycinate or citrate. Step number 5, the boosters. Make sure your diet includes zinc and boron. You don't necessarily need huge supplements for these if you eat well. Pumpkin seeds are great for zinc. Raisins and prunes are great for boron. Or simply take a high-quality multi-mineral that includes small amounts of zinc and boron. If you follow this protocol, you will feel the difference. You will notice your immune system getting stronger. You won't catch every cold that goes around. You will notice your mood stabilizing because vitamin D helps produce serotonin in the brain. You will notice your energy levels improving. And most importantly, you will have the peace of mind knowing that you aren't damaging your arteries in the process. You have the power to take control of your health, but you have to do it with knowledge. You have to understand the mechanism. Don't just follow the herd. Treat this hormone with the respect it deserves, and it will treat you well for the rest of your life. I want you to try this protocol. If you've been taking D alone, switch to the combination. Add the magnesium, eat the fat, do it for 30 days and see how you feel. And please, this is so important. Share this video. There are millions of people blindly taking supplements and hurting themselves. Send this to your family, your friends, your parents. Let's help them stay healthy and keep their arteries clear. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss the next video that could save your life.